This is 37th Street Radio and TV, and of course, we're out here hooking you up with the best of the best when it comes to guests. And today we have another special guest. So, guest, please introduce yourself.
Hi, I feel like I'm on a YouTube channel. Hi, guys. My name is Judy Njogu, and I'm a mother of two. Some of you know me as Mama Kate Kelly. That's my daughter. And then I have Ryan, my son. And I'm a real estate agent and lover of life.
I'm very much interested to know how you even found yourself in this real estate space. How was it?
It's weird because I used to sell cars for the longest time, like over 10 years. And then I think I'd done everything there is to do about anything there is about cars, secondhand cars. And I spoke to one of my clients and told them, oh God, you just get to know someone and you're like, I really need to move, maybe real estate, or can I join you? Then she was a big person at Wadi Dedla Club. But she told me, in case I hear something, I'll let you know. So she asked the sister to call me. They had just opened a company for selling off-plan homes. And that's how I got just like that. I went for the interview and they were like, oh, we love you. In fact, you won't start a salesperson, you can be a team leader. And that's how it started. So I worked there for like about a year and a half, and then I joined Palm Golding. Yeah.
So like on your bio, even so real estate agent and property manager, I just want you to explain what does these titles really mean? Like, what does it entail in terms of now you are in the market right now? What do you do as a real estate agent, and also what do you do as a property manager?
Initially, when I joined Palm Golding, I did rentals. So I handled Kilimani, Kileleshwa, Upper Hill for like 2 years. And then I joined property management. So what I'm doing right now, property management is a bit wide. So what I'm doing currently is I act on behalf of the landlord. So let's say you're a landlord and you have some rentals. Could be one in Hurlingham, one in Kitisuru, one in Langata, and you're collecting rent. That's where I come in. So I will do the lease agreement for you. I will collect rent for you. I will, when the lease is up for renewal, that's me to do. In case the tenant has any issues, like maybe plumbing issues, there's issue with electrics or anything structural, that's where I come in. So we have like a panel of contractors who you'll find there's a plumber, electrician, there's a mason, there's all that. So we bring them in and they do the repair. So it's just making the life of a landlord easier. That's basically it. So, you can imagine if you're a tenant, even if you're a tenant, you'll always be like, oh, there's leakage here, there's this and that. So instead of calling the landlord, you call me. So you can collect rent and all that. Anything, like the tenant never gets in touch with the landlord. That's me. I act on behalf of the landlord.
So what you're saying basically is that if I am the owner of a certain property and I cannot really be on the ground each and every day, that's exactly what you do now. Yeah,
exactly.
Okay.
So anything there is to do, even collection of service charge, everything, and then we do, for us, we do inspections. So when someone is going in, we do an inspection. 6 months, we do an inspection just to make sure that maybe you're not subletting if the house is not supposed to be sublet, and to make sure that the person who is on the lease is actually the person living there, because Nairobi at the end of the day is crazy, especially. So it's just to make it hassle free for you. So we have a lot of retirees, people who are out of the country, or people who are very busy, or people who own multiple properties.
Now you've talked about doing sales when it comes to cars, and right now you are in real estate. So I want you to talk about that transition. You are from selling cars and now you are moving to property. So how was that transition? Did you maybe have to go back to school and learn? Did you maybe chill with industry experts? That's where you got your knowledge, or did you learn on the job? How was it, the transition at that time?
To be honest, I've learned on the job. I've been a very lucky person because I've had mentors. Mentors, some of them are actually way younger than me, others older, but I'm someone who believes that I can learn very fast. If I'm interested in anything, I can learn anything, like anything I put my head into. It was easy for me because what we were selling was off plan. So the only thing I could do is advertise, go to the ground and show the person this is the parcel of land. This is where we're going to build for you. You do your deposit, and then the rest you do within a certain time. And then all that I hand it to the office. So the signing of the agreement, once the agreement is done, I just give you. So it's not me doing the agreement. You understand? Although even in sales right now, it's the lawyers who do the agreement. But for me, it's just to make sure that the process is followed and everything is in order. Yeah, and that the payments are still being done on regular basis. So after that, I joined Palm Gold, where I'm working right now, and was doing rentals. Rentals is easy because there's a home, you show the home, someone likes it, you do the lease agreement, either you or the landlord or the office. It's still me not doing it, although some landlords will ask just do it for me, which now I've learned how to do a lease agreement with the clauses and all that. And once they move in, that's it. Unless it's a managed property like what I'm doing right now, then I hand it over to the property manager. Yeah, and then now property management, I also learned it in the process, just learning in the process. And then the good thing with where I work, we have like an academy. So you're always being taught. Even now, like there are some videos I need to do. There's always training. People come to train us. So I've learned in the job. I've been, as I'm saying, I've been very lucky and blessed to learn in the job and having a good company to teach me. Yeah.
Yes, still talking about your vast experience, I want us to talk about, you see, like right now, there has been a lot of doubt when it comes to university degrees and how they are being given. Like you just go to university, any course is there, they just want your money and then they will give you a degree. So let
Very
me,
fast. Hmm?
in this in such a situation now, let's say if somebody is just fresh from high school and maybe they contact somebody like you and they really want advice from you, should I maybe go to school and learn about this, or should I find mentors in this space and just follow what they say until I know? Should I just learn from the internet? And right now we have a lot of tools like YouTube. Guys can Google and get information, reading books. How will you advise such a person?
First of all, it's very important when you have education. Education is very important. As much as I just moved into selling and all that, I've done like marketing and sales in the background, but not particularly for real estate. So you might, in fact, the people I work with, you find most of them have not really gone for a real estate class. They just learn in the process, or when you're already in the business, then you take the classes. That is what I'd advise. If you get a chance to join, you join, and then you take classes. And as you're saying, right now, YouTube is like the biggest teacher. You can Google almost anything. You can check anything on YouTube and you learn the process. But when you're on the ground, it's faster for you because you're doing it practically. Because sometimes you learn some things in school. Even me, like now, I'm doing a lot of studies. So you study something, but when you try to put it into practice, the theory into practice, it doesn't really go there like a straight line. So, this is what you do, this is what you do. So you have to know how to tweak it. But
Yeah.
as you're saying, education is very important. So if you can do the education and then now look for, if that is what you're interested, now look for the real estate job, then that's fine.
Another
But if
thing
you
I
get
want,
a chance to join, just join and learn as you go through. Then you'll figure out, is this my job really? Because you can have gone and gotten a degree for whatever. And then once you start working on the same degree, you're thinking, oh, I don't think so.
Yes. So still, I have another issue that I really want to ask you, and this is about land. And you have heard it very many times, people talking about, oh, buy land because the value of land appreciates. So I want you to talk about this. Does this happen every time, or it's just something that it's also 50-50? What can you say about that?
I don't know whether it's the proper word to use to say maybe it's luck, because I remember there was a time about 10 years ago when I was leaving the car industry, or then about 10, 12 years ago, everyone was singing, there's land, let's go to Kisaju. I don't know whether you heard that or maybe you were too young, but everyone was like, let's go to Kisaju. That's where everything is going now. Kitengela, that's the way to go. So I got myself some pieces of land because everybody was saying that, you know, land, it never depreciates, blah, blah, blah. You buy it at $500,000, within the next 10 years, it's going to be 3 million. Mm-hmm. No. No. Right now, in fact, where I've gotten later, I've gone with my daughter some place called Ket kunaitwa? I can't remember the name, but it's bypass before you reach Kikuyu. There's some road that goes in. For a few years back, like 5 years, nobody had known about the land, but now it's tarmacked. So a piece of land that was going like maybe for an acre was going for like 2 million. Right now, you can't get with less than about 10, 12 million. But you see, that is luck. Not everybody knew about it. Yeah. So people will take advantage of you because they think that everybody wants to own land. So they'll sing to you like, oh, this is cheap, it's gonna happen. But you really don't know, because like even those guys, they didn't expect it to be that, like to be that high. In Kikuyu, they didn't expect it to be that high because now the roads are done. In Kisaju, the road, like the main road had already been done, right? But right now, even if I try to sell it, if I bought it for like 500, I'm still gonna sell it like for 500. So it's just my money that has been sitting there. I should have probably bought a second-hand car and sold it, gotten a bit like 50,000, and then buy another one and then get 50,000. By now, I think I'd be having $1 million on the same investment. Yeah. So people can sell it. It can be a facade at some point.
Yeah. So, just looking at Nairobi City, I want us to just talk about Nairobi. Through your experience talking with different industry players, I also want to know, like you see in Nairobi, it's like the capital of Kenya, of course, we know, and we have a lot of schools in Nairobi, all companies have their headquarters in Nairobi, and that therefore influences, it brings about something we call rural-urban migration. So with all these headquarters in Nairobi and people coming from the village to Nairobi, do you think we can achieve adequate housing in Nairobi ever?
I think the idea of opening places close to Nairobi, like Akina Konza and Ruiru, like now is opening up and the road is done, I think we can achieve it. Because I've realized once the roads are done, you can actually easily live almost anywhere. If the roads are good, and now even with the overpass, which helped me, I've used it once and I've just gotten addicted because I'm like, the journey I was doing within an hour, if I use that, it's like cut not even into half. I spend like 15 minutes or 20 minutes on the same. So with the roads opening up, I think that is going to be achievable eventually. Because I've had a lot of friends now moving to different places, like away from Nairobi, because they can access whatever point they want to access. And then right now, you see, like now Zoom has come in after COVID. I think it was a blessing in disguise because you can do your thing in the house. You can have your meetings like this way. This one we're having, we don't have to sit down together, you know? So I think eventually that is going to happen. Maybe not now, but it is happening gradually.
The real estate market, of course, there's market in Nairobi. So just looking at the towns, various towns and cities in Kenya, which other place can you advise maybe somebody to set up shop apart from Nairobi, according to maybe the market trends that you have observed? Which other town or city?
As I was saying, it's just the outskirts of Nairobi that people are trying to get into. Like now, Kikuyu is almost just outside. It's Kiamburu. So Kiambu County, you'll find a lot of people have gone to Thika, Juja, because Juja at some point was like up country, but now it's becoming a town. So people are just expanding slowly, just out of Nairobi, just like a perimeter of Nairobi. That's where most people are going. Yeah, not too far because it's gradual. If it's too far, it's like what we bought in those sides of Ponza and Isinya, thinking that things will develop, but not maybe as fast as had been promised or had been put in our heads. So just the surrounds.
Another issue is people are usually very much torn between these two things, and I'm very sure that you have also experienced it, between buying property and actually just building. So according to your experience, which one is cheaper? Because that's what people usually want to know, between just buying property and building.
There's no straight answer to this because one, what money do you have? What capital are you talking about? Where are you able to get money, even if you said, I don't have the capital, but I can get it from some place, maybe because you have, you'll peg it on land or whatever you have. You first think about the capital you have. So for example, if you have like, say about 10 million, and you're thinking, do I build or do I? It depends on where you are also in life. Let me give you an example of mine. If I have 10 million right now, I'll probably buy an apartment, maybe a 2-bed apartment, Kilimani or whatever, even the lower end, but let it out, get rental income, because that will start bringing in money. And probably with time, maybe not very fast, maybe it will pay itself. Because if you talk about, do you build? Where am I building? There's no place. I will not get land in Kilimani where I can afford to build that, right?
Yeah.
But if I'm in the up country, or maybe I'm retiring or something, then I'd rather just build because there's no other way anyway. Right?
Yeah.
Are you understanding me?
Yeah.
Because are you looking to invest? Are you looking to live there? For example, I would want maybe to start living in Kilimani and I have the money. Then I can buy an apartment because I'll cut on rent. Rent is very high in Nairobi. I'll cut on rent, and maybe whatever I'm saving, I'll be able to pay my mortgage if it's a mortgage I'm paying. Because if I have the same money, I'm building and I'm still paying rent. It wouldn't be making sense. Unless I have too much money where I can still buy and still build instead of renting. You understand?
Yeah.
So it depends. Because if you're looking into Nairobi, you cannot afford to buy land and build unless you have a certain amount of capital, because land by itself is very expensive. So if I'm having 10 million, where will I buy land for 10 million in Nairobi? Hakuna. Where? Unless I go to the outskirts. But if I want to live in Nairobi, for the same 10 million, I'll afford to buy a house or add even a bit kidogo. Then I can go to maybe Langata, South Sea, or wherever I can add a bit of money and buy a home if I'm still looking to stay in Nairobi for long. So when someone tells you, oh, don't build or don't buy, build, do you have the land already? If you have the land already, the land, good. And if you have the land, it's still better to sell the land because it will be a lot of money and buy like 3 apartments and let them out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as we are finishing up, I want you to just talk to guys maybe who are young and they're interested in this field, or even they have already started out, but they're in the early stages of their career. What can you tell them, maybe the lessons that you have learned, what to watch out for, what to do and what not to do?
I think I'm the wrong person to advise that because It's not something I planned, you know, like I think younger people are looking at the older generation like us, and someone looks at me and thinks, I want to be real estate like Judy, but you don't know my story. You don't know where I've started or how I landed into that. It's not like I planned, like I'm gonna be a real estate agent and I'm gonna do this and that. So maybe I would advise you differently, and another person will advise you differently. Like go to school, study, start from wherever you want to start. But for me, as I'm saying, I just landed into it. But what I know is you must be willing to learn, listen and learn. It doesn't matter from who. As I said, I have had mentors who are younger than me. I've learned from people who are younger than me. Like, this is what we've been doing and this is the way you go about it. I've learned from my age, okay, my age mates, no, sorry, but older people also. So be receptive, like accept to learn, be open to learning anything you can manage. Like, don't think you're too smart for anything. Sometimes you think you're too smart and then you see someone doing something else and you're like, wait a minute, I'm not that smart, I'm actually dumb. So the biggest advice is be teachable and accept to learn. Always, no matter what field you are in, forget real estate, forget selling cars, forget doing marketing, whatever you put your head to or whatever your passion is, always be willing to learn from others, because there are others who've been before you, the others who have come after you and have learned faster than you or have been exposed differently. So always get a lot of information on whatever you're doing. Always listen, like always listen and see, oh, okay, how can I apply this, or is it applicable to me? And just try. Just that is my advice. Just be willing to learn. Be willing to learn always, and it doesn't matter from who. You can learn from the gate person. I've learned a lot of from caretakers. You know those caretakers at the gate and watches. Yeah. I have learned so much, especially from caretakers. Like, it's amazing. I've gotten good contacts from them. So like, I don't take anyone for granted. Just learn as much as you can. Listen to people. Yeah, listen and learn. That's all I can say.
Yeah, thank you so much for giving me your time. I really wish you all the best.
Thank you so much, and thank you for the interview.
Thank you.
All right.